So this is One versus the Other.
Hi, long time no see. Finally return back.
My name is Lindsay.
Hi, my name's Kit.
And today the topic is discussed. So I wanted to talk to you about critical race theory because it's been coming up a little bit with the elections coming up for Ron DeSantis. It is his opinion that critical race theory, I guess, should not be taught in high schools.
What is critical race theory? I wasn't that catch up.
Okay, so critical race theory, so this is Wikipedia. So it's the social conception of race and ethnicity. CRT also considers racism to be systematic in various laws and rules, and not only based on individuals' prejudice. The word critical is in the name is an academic reference to critical thinking, critical theory, and scholarly criticism. Rather than criticizing or blaming individuals, CRT is also used in sociology to explain social, political, and legal structures and power distribution as through a lens focusing on the concept of race and experiences of racism. For example, the CRT conceptual framework examines racial biases in laws, legal institutions, such as highly disparate. I don't understand all these big words.
I don't know why they always make any educational is very hard to understand. Just use very common language.
Just basically racial inequalities in society, laws, the theory of class, economic structure, and law, and how U.S. law is perpetuating racism.
What do you think?
I think it's okay, so I think it is a very complex topic. I think how we examine it is through the lens of scholarly. I completely understand. That's my baby. Don't worry, someone's taking care of her. Who? I don't know. But I feel like it should be like racism or the historically like what's gone on with race should be taught. But I also feel like it should be done through an educational lens, not on a let's play blame game type of lens or like a victim type of lens. I feel like just educationally, this is what happened. Yes, it's horrible. We've learned from it. This is how we choose to try and move forward from it. But a lot of people think that depending on who's teaching it, it probably is probably skewed.
I agree both. I agree on the education route I think it's necessary when it's done right, when it's done correctly. Like you're putting your own opinion on the spin, then you're not stating the fact, you're stating your own opinion. And that's another part of how history all throughout a lot of teaching moment is based on that. Then guess what, the next generation carry on what the thinking,
what someone else. Yeah, because I remember in high school, like you never knew what someone was thinking or like the teacher's perspective. Like you didn't know their political opinion.
Then you shouldn't. I mean that's not their opinion to put it upon you. I don't think they should tell you that, hey, support this and yeah, everybody, you have your own free will. Just stating the facts, given the opportunity to understand the fact is important, but also make sure that's why it's difficult. I can see how this curriculum is very difficult to put in the school system that without you're never able to please everybody.
Yeah, I think they're not pleasing anybody. So this topic came up because what DeSantis is trying to run for president, and I thought the concept of critical race theory is interesting. I don't care for banning it because I do think it's an important topic to tackle, but is there a way to make it like if you dumb it down too much, right, which you have to lead someone to understand what critical race theory, because like even reading it in Wikipedia, I'm just like,
I'm confused. Like
I was like like it's such a huge topic, and you can dissect it from many which ways, right? You can dissect like, what is it, racism in real estate, right? There was like redlining in California. There's also like Jim Crow laws. Like there's different ways that you can tackle this. Like also with different cities, how it affects how critical race theory affects different cities is completely different. So how do you tackle such a hard subject without A, offending anyone, but also doing it correctly where everyone feels coming out like, so that's what happened. So I feel like if you teach people that this happened, these are different laws that happened, it was horrible, obviously do like projects and stuff around it, like when should it start? Do you teach that in middle school? Do you teach that in elementary school? Do you start up in high school? Because it's such a horrendous history. Like, do you teach children who have like a very innocent mind extremely young, or do you wait until an older age, right? Like 13, 14 and above, right? I feel like when you're younger, you should teach how to engage with textbooks, right? How to read, write, mathematics. But something so much as theory, right? You have to know a lot about ideology, how to dissect things, the mentality of people. Like, how do you teach the psychology behind racism and sociology behind racism?
I mean, psychology and sociology, I don't think those are elementary topic though.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So that's where I was like, if you can put those difficult like mental subject or psychologist, sociologist in elementary spectrum, then why would you think this one can able to put it in there? This one is even more difficult to explain. It's actually across the spectrum.
So then, like, do you agree that like racism should be taught? That it was like not the act of racism, but that racism happened should be taught, but critical race theory should be left for like an elective in high school that a kid could tap into? Or do you think it should just be taught all around? Or do you think it should wait till college?
I think maybe college. Just personally thinking, I think it's college, because even you just giving out a vocabulary, you just giving the word racism. Tell somebody, explain to you what is racism. 10 people with different answer. How can you
I think before we consider what, you're right, like I feel like before we can consider what critical race theory is, I think we have to have one common
outline,
vocabulary of racism.
Because you have a dictionary form and people interpretation on a different level. People saying, oh, that's prejudice, that's not racism. Like, guess what? Not everybody on the same page on even the one
academically.
Yeah, like that's very difficult.
Like, yeah, okay, for example, so there's this new thing coming up called, so when you speak Hispanic, or like when you speak Spanish, like there's Latinos, Latinas, right? Feminine, male. There's the identification of like gender all throughout Spanish in every part of the language. And there's this new thing, I guess, in education that I saw that was scrolling through. Like, I've heard of it before, but I'm like, whatever. But people saying like Latinx.
It's a new language?
I guess it's like a new educational word, or like a word in education that's for like Latins of like all gender. So like for me personally, I feel like it erases our history when it comes to gender. And I also think it's kind of like, I don't know, like a lot of people have different skewing opinions. Like there's some Latinos that think that it's important to include the gender neutrals of, or non-binaries of the world. And then there's other ones that find it disrespectful to the heritage of our language of Spanish, of like, are we supposed to change every word then that has to do with the gender? Like, Or did you just create a whole new word just to reference everyone, even though technically you can say, like, we have a beautiful language. You can say things many different types of ways. Why, like, there's a flow to Spanish. Like, it's supposed to be beautiful. Latinx doesn't sound beautiful.
So that's like your main concern. It doesn't sound beautiful. What? My main concern is that they might have to learn another new set of vocabulary.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. That's the main thing. But also, like, there's no flow anymore. Like, Spanish has a flow that's beautiful. Like, think of it like dancing. So, like, my point is for critical race theory and the correlation with it is that some people will have a different, everyone has like a differing opinion. So who do we go through? Like, who do we decide is right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Like, we throw a boat up in the air and then be like,
maybe people have, I don't know. Like, I don't know. This is very hard. But I mean, the base course of knowledge should have, though, for example, to understand redlining, but why it doesn't flow into history.
redlining. I learned it in history.
Yeah,
I learned it.
Why does it have to take it out? Like, if it's part of the history, you understand what happened, what it mean. Do not repeat the history. Make sure you learn the lesson. Then why we have to take those part out to make it a new one, to make it more like, okay, now this is what meaning of the decipher.
Like a whole new way of teaching history, you mean? Because, like, right now they do teach racism in such a flat way, right? Like in a way where it's like, during this year and this year, this is when racism was occurring. They brought people, they purchased over, like, you know, they purchased people from this area and brought them over, you know. It was in U.S. history. But, like, there's been genocide and slavery everywhere, right? Throughout time. I mean, like, we still have slavery to this day. There's, like, sex slaves, there's child slaves being sold everywhere. So it's like, we have to acknowledge that maybe things have changed in the United States, but it hasn't gotten better everywhere.
You don't think it's getting better?
I feel like they're still selling kids until they stop selling kids, I feel like.
Only way for something to be not so is to cut off the demand. So
stop having children?
No, stop having people have those type of thought.
Oh, you mean cut those people off?
You don't cut off, just like you're telling people to why people making bank when they're doing OnlyFans, because you support them. Like,
okay, I see what you mean.
Like, I was like so confused. It's like, oh, why does people just only take off a shirt and now they have like $1 million for a whole month? I still don't earn penny. But you support them. All the society, some part of the people support them. Why don't you just educate the people to stop supporting those type of ideas? So now, cut off the demand,
then the demand, then the supply isn't needed.
Yeah. But we're human. It's very hard. I guess that's like, so how many dark side in OnlyFans. look at the OnlyFans fan base. Like, look at how many users over there. Then you know how. then you know the next door the person that you know actually you don't know. So there you go.
That makes sense. Oh, what is it? But okay, so we're in agreement. Older, so back to the topic for critical race theory. Do we think it should be taught in high school, or?
I think when it's a more mature mind, is just like college. It has debate in college that is very tackle on social issue. I think this type of topic can bring into college, not necessary to younger audience,
because they won't appreciate or
I think
fully understand. Do you feel like?
I think it will cause hostile in the school environment, just because people feel, oh, okay, I understand what this is mean, and like they take it, assume it in a different way what you expect and they're supposed to assume it.
So you're thinking that they won't take it in an educational way, like, oh, this
you
is
never
just...
know. they're young young mind. Yeah, I was a kid at one point. I don't even know what I was thinking. I just feel furious all the time. How do you know?
Oh yeah, there's so many hormones raging, like you're just angry all the time.
And how do you know you're not molding somebody to feel sorry for themselves, or making them feel like very angry toward anybody that didn't do anything to them?
Yeah.
So you don't know. Is that a good thing to put in the school? I think it's critical to understand it, but not necessary, like I mentioned,
For society.
yeah, not in that age. Not, I mean, they should understand the history behind it, but for like to
The
have a
concept, yeah.
debate and argue about it, you leave that in college.
I mean, that was the purpose of college anyways, is to understand, to
You're-
tackle the difficult
yeah.
topics anyways.
You're more adult now. Like, you need to able to actually think.
No, I agree. Okay, so that's it for us today for critical race theory. But I do agree with you though. I feel like the way you, I didn't think of the hormone raging part, but it makes a lot of sense. So I think that I can agree with you a lot that it should be later on, just because people have a more articulate mind.
Hopefully people are. Hopefully people take it as education value. Not like, even though no matter what age they're going for, if this course is supposed to be passed as a law, then at least hopefully the world will actually keep coming back saying that this is what it meant for critical thinking. It's not for you to feel certain type of way. Hopefully everybody will be reminded every single time they go into this type of class. And that's
Makes
what I'm
sense.
saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with you. So that's it for us today for critical race theory. But let us know your opinions down below, if you agree, if you disagree, and let us know why you think either it should be taught younger, if it shouldn't be taught at all. You know, we would want to understand your perspective. And thank you so much for coming in. Bye.